On the Brooklyn Bridge tonight, voices strong, knowledge tight. Thorough Black Talk in the air, changing minds, changing flair. From Brother Tad to Sister Kate, warriors got things to say. Sister Marcia brings the heat, Brother Blacksmith keeps the beat. Revolutionary waves they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral line. Thursday nights, the world will see Black Power Media on the spree. Facebook, YouTube, all aligned, breaking free from every bind. Social talk and politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral line. Ancestral line.
Unmute, sis. Unmute.
There you go.
There we go. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I got you loud and clear, brother.
All right. Mic check.
Evening.
1 2 1 2.
Yes. Sorry about that, family. I have some camera issues, so just bear with me tonight. Glad that you all could join us for another week of Thorough Black Talk Worldview right here on the Brooklyn Bridge. Y'all see Brother Tad background. Stop playing.
Right there. Right there. We at the bridge, baby.
We here, family. We here. Glad that y'all are black with us again. Salute, Brother Rob. Good to be with you this evening. K Rush 409 Philly by way of Far Rock in the building. Sister Donna, Brother Kurtwood, Alabama, always in here. Heavy. Sister Joyce, Brother Monty, Suffolk County in the building. What's good? Sister Brooke, BK is in here always. Sister Brooke, I got some info for you tonight. So buckle up. Sister Farnesta, you see these markets, sis? You see crypto? Man, they better stop playing. According to Elon Musk, crypto could be a way for the U.S. to clear their debt. So I don't know. When Trump was elected, 47 president, Bitcoin was at 67,000. Today it's at 90,000. So y'all can stop playing if you want to.
Yep.
Brother Knowledge Born, Allah, the God himself is
Peace
in the
to
building.
the God. Peace
Yes,
to the God, Knowledge Born.
Yes, indeed. Man, first, before we do anything, I want to give a happy belated birthday to Mama Cromwell.
Yeah.
Clap it up.
Yeah, Grandma.
Taz Nana, turned 88?
Yep. Grand Doogie turned 88. We call her Grand Doogie, me and Doggy. You have Pop Dukes and Mom Dukes. We used to call her Grand Dukes.
Uh-oh.
And we just
I'm
start
not saying
calling her
nothing.
Grand Doogie. Yeah.
I ain't saying nothing. I don't want
She
no
know we ain't
switches,
had no
nothing.
sense. Grandma know we ain't had no sense. Like Doggy always say, we get the violence from her.
Uh-oh.
She
See,
always
that's
say
why I
it.
ain't saying nothing. Hear that, Nana? I ain't say nothing.
She's quick to
It
say,
was
I
him.
stomp a mud hole in you.
For real, for
Draw
real.
back a nub. Whatever that means.
You put your hand out, them fingers gonna be gone. That's what it means.
Yeah, you draw back, touch it. You're gonna draw back a nub. Like, what that mean, Grandma?
Yes,
But no
Sister
doubt.
Farness, is the markets are on fire and I'm loving it. Absolutely. I mean, it's just taking off. I mean, energy stocks, that is one thing that I can tell you all that we always gonna need is energy. So, if you ride Lyft or Uber, you should be investing. Whatever
Yeah.
it is that you doing, Amazon, you buy on Amazon, you should be investing. And speaking of Amazon, I'm gonna give y'all a tip tonight because we coming along the holiday season, and I want y'all to be able to spend as least money as possible, right? So Amazon ain't paying us, so let me make that clear. Tad didn't get a check, and I ain't get a check either.
Nope.
So they ain't paying us, but I'm gonna help y'all out tonight. Shout out to Sister Armanette too, the Midwest crew in the building.
Yeah.
Yes, Sister Vanessa said, yeah, AIs too. Speaking of AI, this is why it's very important that we know our history, that we are firm in our knowledge of our history. You have platforms like Chat GPT, but you also have things like Microsoft's version, which is called Copilot. It's a free version of that type of apparatus, if you will. And so, I like to play with these things. You know what I mean? Because you got to check them. So last night, I'm on the subway, and something just told me, Keisha, put in Copilot, who was the first Black American president. And here it is. You see, it was 6:13 at night last night. So I left the time on that so y'all can see it, right? You see my question, who was the first Black woman and man to run for president in the United States? They came back to me. The first Black woman to run for president in the United States was Shirley Chisholm. She made her run in 72. Now, okay. So I went back out to them and I said, Charlene Mitchell ran for president in 68 before Shirley Chisholm. What did Copilot come back and say to me? You're right. Charlene Mitchell was the first Black woman to run for president in the United States. She ran as the Communist Party USA candidate in 68. So I say this to say, family, that we got to be on our guard when it comes to our story. We can no longer allow lies to be spoken in our name. When you go to school, or when your children or grandchildren or whoever, they go into these public schools and you come across Black History Month, and you'll see Shirley Chisholm picture all over the goddamn place, and they'll still regurgitate that lie, but you have to correct that. Don't be afraid to correct that. If you're an educator and you're in these schools, check it. Don't be afraid, because we got to fix the problem. So I started to go back and mess with them as far as the man is concerned. They did mention George Edward Taylor being the first to run for president of his own fruition, right? There was a man before him whose name was placed on a ballot and he knew nothing about it. Actually, it was for vice president. Brother Tad, do you know who that is?
No, I don't, sis.
48. We'll get into that a little bit later, but I want y'all to hold on to that, right? 1848 VP candidate. Because it's going to tie into everything that we're talking about tonight. Tonight, we're going to go over some things that are recognized as badges of slavery, because I want to give you a precursor to what we're going to continue to discuss, because again, When we come across that 2025 threshold, we're going to hit the ground running as far as creating our own voting block as independents. But anyway, so I started to go back to them on that, but I didn't. I wanted to hold off for a second. And so there were some other AI platforms that, spit these very same answers back out to me. And of course, they are in the process of correcting it. So no one would ever tell you the story, but let it be known that Sister Keisha and Thorough Black Talk confronted Microsoft and Copilot in a correction of our history, because nobody's going to tell our story. So when it happened, I sent it to Brother Tad, Brother Kifaro, and Sister Katasha. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
Because we have to have documented records. So I didn't know if I was going to wake up this morning, but I made sure that the team, including Marcia and Brother Blacksmith, had copies of that, right? We have to document our story and document it correctly. So before we get into our topic tonight, we're going to go through some things in the news. Now, Brother Tad and I were chopping it up a few minutes ago, and Brother Tad, remind me of some things that took place this week that really got my goat. You understand? It really ticked me off. But I'm going to let Brother Tad tell y'all, and then we'll come right back and we'll discuss it. Go ahead, Brother Tad.
It's just why you want me to be the bearer of bad news.
Why not?
Well, family, unfortunately, we've been steadfast against this homosexual agenda. Even with President 47 making an announcement that they're only going to recognize two genders in America once again, male and female. But of course, they couldn't end this year without a bang. So our favorite actor, our beloved thespian, one of the most prolific artists, one who had no smut on his name until this week, your brother and mine, Denzel Washington, has kissed the man in the movie Gladiator 2. This is disheartening because we all, as a Black community, will hold Denzel high because of his principles and his moral stand not to put on dresses, not to play effeminate characters. But unfortunately, they got him. Denzel stated that he did kiss a man in Gladiator 2, and they deleted the scene. And he said, quote, "They're too chicken to show it." Broke my heart. That's Bleak Gilliam from Mo Better Blues. I mean, that's Malcolm X. He really, he took on that role and so many other roles we can name. I forget what his name was in Glory. I mean, it just broke my heart, and we're still trying to digest this because this new world order would not let us slide without taking one of our own down. And it's so unfortunate for Denzel to not have a blemish, not to be caught up in any scandals. You didn't hear about him cheating on his wife. If he did, it was under wraps. It stayed between them two. He said he left Diddy party before 12. Now I got a question if it's 12 p.m. that he left instead of a.m. midnight. I don't know what to think anymore, Sister Keisha. Like my world is upside down. It hurts. It's Denzel.
I know, brother. I know. When I saw this clip, shout out to Doggy Diamonds TV. When I saw this clip, and I, as I think someone said in the chat, he's coming upon retirement in this acting business, and this is what is not going to be his last film. There were murmurs that he has done some readings for a special part in Black Panther 3. And that will be his final exit. But I find that strange that all of these years, as Brother Tad mentioned, we never heard of such things. And now that this man is retiring from acting, and allegedly his last film will be Black Panther 3. You come with this smut right here. But hold on, family. We'll let him tell them in his own words, and we'll come right back and we'll discuss.
Character makes a few remarks throughout the film about having a relationship with other men in the film. So I wanted to ask, how gay is the Roman Empire?
The entire empire, or I actually kissed a man in the film, but they took it. They cut it. I think they got chicken.
I was going to ask because I just heard about the Paul and Pedro forehead kiss that apparently got cut from the movie.
I'm not sure about that one, but yeah, I kissed the guy full on the lips, and I guess they weren't ready for that yet.
Oh man. Well,
I killed him about 5 minutes later, but
I mean, it's Gladiator.
it's Gladiator. It's the kiss of death.
Your character makes a few remarks throughout the film about having a relationship with other men in the film. So I wanted to ask, how gay is the Roman Empire?
The entire empire, or I actually kissed a man in the film, but
so there you have it, family. There you have it, family. You know, let me get my brother Blacksmith on the Brooklyn Bridge, because you know some things have come out that Brother Black has been talking about as of late. Brother Black, welcome to the Brooklyn Bridge, brother. How are you this evening?
Peace to the family, peace to the family, peace to the gods in the earth, peace to New York, peace to the world. Peace, y'all.
Peace, brother Black.
What's the question, Sister Keisha?
I'm saying that today, I think I sent it to you earlier today.
I just got online a little while ago. I was out all day. So I'm not privy to anything you sent me. So you want me to address Denzel or?
Hold on one second. Let me play this clip. Because you had mentioned, have been mentioning, for several shows now, that we should be on alert for these UFO sightings and all of this old kind of stuff that they're going to come out as a distraction for all of us. Right. So today there was a Senate hearing on UPOs. So we're going to play this clip and we'll come right back. Hold on, family.
Whole archives of data, much of which I believe will likely have information that will help inform UAP. We need only look. And again, in an era with AI and ML, we can relatively quickly and easily go through it. So I think it's something that we should encourage NASA to do.
This is a presentation from the UATP task force. This is completely absurd. It's nuts, this level of censorship, of redaction on a document. It shows the redaction of how many reports they've collected, for how many years. 2 of the 3 potential explanations are blacked out. The Pentagon, the intelligence community is treating us like children. It's time for us to know the truth about this. I think that we can handle it.
Has the government conducted secret UAP crash retrieval programs, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, were they designed to identify and reverse engineer alien craft, yes or no?
Yes.
In your book, you mentioned government employees who've been injured by UAPs placed on leave and receiving government compensation for their injuries. Is that correct?
That is correct.
How can the government deny we have recovered craft if they're paying people because they've been injured by recovered craft?
Ma'am, that's a great question. That's why I think we're here again.
I really believe that we should use this hearing as a catalyst to improve and bolster our air defense capabilities and our maritime domain awareness capabilities, because obviously there are holes in it, whether it be UAP of non-HI direction or NHI direction, or as you say, sir, China or any other adversary.
NASA has.
Brother Black, your comments on this Senate hearing on these, documents and other acknowledgments of UPOs. Your thoughts? I think, Brother Black, are you frozen?
I think he's in another dimension.
They done got Anunnaki up out of here early. You see what I'm saying?
Tapped him up.
We gonna let him work.
Y'all hear me?
Run to the light, Black. Run to the light.
Can y'all hear me?
We hear you.
We hear you, brother.
Okay. I was on mute and I was trying to take it off. Real quick, I told y'all this a few years ago. The Galactic Federation is in charge of what's going on the earth right now. I know Sister Farnessa gonna start calling me Brother Anunnaki again. But the Galactic Federation is who Trump's reporting to. So this is otherworldly stuff. And so as far as the UFOs and the UAPs is concerned and so on and so forth, this is the reason why I'm not afraid, and y'all shouldn't be either, of nuclear wars, because they have the capabilities. There are reports out there, and I'm sure you guys have seen it over the years, because this ain't nothing new, of various governments shooting off nukes to other places and them intercepting it and taking it out in seconds, and there's no fallout as a result of that. So this is something that's, you know, I had said this on the show maybe a few years ago, that if you want to take the solar system that we're in, and we're in a new solar system, the TRAPPIST-1 system, I talk about it all the time. I don't know if y'all looked it up, but if you look at the solar system, if you look at the galaxy that we're in, which is the Milky Way, and the Earth is the kneecap, in order for the galaxy to move forward, the kneecap has to be healed. Remember, we're the third rock from the sun. So we're closer to the end of the galaxy than we are in the middle or the other end. And the Earth has to move forward, and there will be no Earth. So all these people out here, I'm going to talk about Trump for a second and relate to everything I just said, that are saying he's going to do all this. And what dictator have you ever known who had power and then lost it and then came back to enslave people? That doesn't make any sense if you want to use it that as an analogy. But more and more, and I said this last year, and I'm glad y'all here to witness what I said, we're going to hear about celestial events and celebrity stuff. That's been the main two topics in the news for the most part this whole year. And it's just starting. So with Denzel and all this and that, I'm going to talk about that, and then I'm going to get off my soapbox. When I was researching my book that exposed the entertainment industry, not just hip hop, but the entertainment industry, what I heard about Denzel, and I put it in here because I could never corroborate it or find tangible evidence. He was made to sleep with his leading women because y'all got to remember, he told Will Smith back in the days before he made that movie 6 Degrees of Separation, don't be on camera kissing no man. So for him to do that, like Taz said, and I saw his post earlier on Facebook, I just saw it and I ran through it real quick. They got to have something on you. I don't care what it is. They got to have something on you. I remember for years, I used to say the same thing. They never got anything on Will Smith that we know of, but as far as I know, he never had a death in his family or anybody close to him, because he probably did every ritual willingly, and without, pause and so on and so forth. So those two entities are mixed together as well when you break it down the way I'm breaking it down, from the perspective I'm seeing it from as a researcher, not as a consumer of movies and NASA and that type of stuff. So I'm off my soapbox.
Thank you, brother. Again, making clarification on some of the things that we are seeing today. I just want our people to be aware and alert, as far as what's coming down the pike. Don't be distracted. Stay focused. As Brother Black say, Sister Farnessa said, that's your name permanently, brother. He said, if Sister Marcia got to stick with Mama, you getting the Anunnaki. That's it.
Nanu.
Let me bring my sister down the bridge.
But sister, I call her that. She don't like it.
I don't know.
Put the face on like.
I don't know. Let's get Sister Marcia on the Brooklyn Bridge. Sister, what's good with you? How are you this evening?
Peace, family. How's everyone doing on this Blacktastic Thursday on Thorough Black Talk? Hi, family. Nice to see everybody again.
Peace.
Yes, and I am Marcia, not Marmar, but it's cute. It's cute, but
how about Wing Gap?
No.
Nah, I'm not saying nothing because Marcia and Mother be listening, so I don't want no beef, none. I don't want no problems, none. So anyway, shout out to her mom anyway. and her son Jay, who be checking us out. But anyway, Sister Marcia.
Yes, ma'am.
Your thoughts on Denzel Washington, you know, coming out and letting us know that he had a little kissing scene in this new Gladiator 2 film.
And you know, I was looking
I'm just
forward.
glad they're not showing it, but go ahead.
I was looking forward to seeing it, but now I'm gonna watch it. Even when I get to watch it, I'm gonna always be looking like, where was that scene supposed to be? What happened? What happened? Where did they cut it? You know, so you should have never said nothing at all. Left the people in peace. We do not care. We do not want that from you as an elder actor. We want you to be of ethics, codes, moral. And if you can't present that to us, then that's why our children are crazy right now. These millennials are going bonkers because no one has been able to set clear, concrete, ethical examples out here. And those that have were either jailed or assassinated for 40 plus years and died when they came out. So we didn't get to enjoy that type of bravado in our community. And that's sad.
Agree, sis. Agreed. It's just disheartening. But again, you know, entertainers.
Money
You know,
talk.
I always
all
say
about
they're
the
liars
dollars.
by trade. You know, entertainers are liars by trade. I'm telling y'all that. So you can call it whatever you want to, but that's basically the gist of their job description, to tell you a story. So anyway, I mentioned earlier, sister, before you came in, that interaction I had with Microsoft Copilot as far as our history is concerned. And but I want our people to really understand things. So last week we touched on a little bit about badges of slavery. And I think that a lot of people may be confused about what those are. And they come in many different forms. And I'm going to show you tonight how the Democratic Party are serious offenders of badges of slavery. And we're going to have to correct some things. So let me remove our thing here. But family images. This is some of the images you're going to see tonight were during enslavement and after enslavement. But take note of the companies that put out these advertisements, right? This is why I always encourage you all to research your family's story and your family's history. You may be using some of these products and not even knowing that these are badges of slavery and how you are a co-conspirator in continued oppression. Shout out to CMOTAP. They're always talking about image and what's be put before the world as far as we are concerned. This Saturday, they will have author and Professor Gloria J. Braun Marshall. And I wish I could be there, but I can't. She wrote the book that I all previously recommended to you all. She took justice. But anyway, let's stick to badges of slavery. So you have soap companies, and then you wonder why skin bleaching is so prevalent on the continent and in the Caribbean. Because images like this put before you, you know, to scrub or make yourselves as white as possible. Some of us still use these products today. This Searing soap company right out of Buffalo, New York. You had more images like these, cleaning yourself and making yourself as white as possible. And these were in mainstream media ads, family. This wasn't put off on the side somewhere. These were depictions and advertisements used against our people. Now, as you look at these advertisements, I want you to look at your mumble rappers today, those who are in entertainment, who are buffoonish in their practice. It's nothing more than what you see here. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. They just given you the illusion that it has. Here you have an ad of a shoe company out of Minneapolis, depicting our people, as thieves in the night, running with a pair of shoes here. You have images like this, a druggist, if you will, selling some kind of medication or what have you. But the buffoonery, the imagery of Black people here was very disrespectful. And that's why, shout out to, again, Africans on a Rise. When we were at the Historical Society, we got an education on why it is that you see people in certain clothing, what clothing meant. Clothing also dictate your profession. And if you look at Black Americans or Black people around the world, in their dress, how impeccably dressed they present themselves in photographs, it's because of images like this. They wanted to show their natural selves. So when you say, well, why do Black people spend so much on clothes and shoes? Because that DNA is still in us, that we have to be impeccably dressed. Why do Black people spend so much money on material things? It's because images like this that they put before us and still continue to do so. Right now, you got Black males and females walking around with bonnets and stuff on, traveling. I mean, going about their business with bonnets and stuff on. Shout out to the Moors. Since you talk about your sovereignty, you were depicted too. And I ain't see none of y'all fight these cases. Where is your class action suit? The indigenous family, you see it right here. The depictions that they put before you. Tobacco companies. Pierce soap is still sold today. It's still sold today in your favorite supermarkets, right? Thumbtacks, this type of energy. General Electric, which fuels a lot of our households. What does GE and the connection of a Black boy eating a piece of chicken have in common? This is just things that they just threw out there. So I just wanted to show y'all a couple of images of badges of slavery. It's reminders of what it is that we endured during enslavement. Now, when it comes to entertainment, that was a key job on many plantations, for you to get out there and entertain, to shuck and jive. It's the same today. Nothing has changed. Nothing. So we have to look at this. Look at this. I mean, you have to see, family, what our people endured and know that nothing has changed today. Now, this was an ad, and I try to get it clear enough for you, but this was an ad about petroleum, or what y'all call Vaseline and all of that, right? Grease up this Black boy and give him some watermelon and let him, eat on that. This is the commentary, right, of what happened back then. But that's just the book cover. She Took Justice. This is a book that I'm recommending that you all get, and we're going to read a passage from it tonight. But before we do that, I want to go back to something that Brother Tad mentioned last week. But while I get that queued up, Brother Tad, your thoughts on some of the images that were put in magazines and mainstream media newspapers depicting us in this way. Your thoughts on that, and if you see the correlation of some of the things that we're witnessing today?
I see the correlation clear as day. Right now, we call it social media. Back then, it was called printed media. That's how information was passed around. Social media is the same means of communication. It's just a lot faster, but it's the negative images. It's these people shaping the narrative on who we are. This, when we talked about Jim Crow, images that are created, but they buy into the nonsense and they created laws based on the lies just to keep the country in perpetual fear. And I think I get so emotional with it because our folks just don't get it. Because as we talk about this, I was so frustrated that people weren't upset with the Democrat Party using Black women in these negative images. All of these negative stereotypes we just witness. We just look at them. And people don't think Meg Thee Stallion and Glorilla and Cardi B are manufactured images of negative stereotypes, of justifications for sexualizing Black women, demeaning them, treating them less than. Meanwhile, they're the template for beauty, but they'll have you think other women are when other women are imitating Black women. So now Black women are imitating women that are imitating them. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing said, monkey see, monkey do, till one day monkey cut his throat. We're just following followers, not recognizing our own power as leaders, as global leaders, as Brother Black would say, cosmic leaders. Am I right, Brother Black? Are we the cosmic folks? And other folks come behind us.
For sure, my brother Anunnaki.
I mean, the reality is, right? And it just hurts. It just hurts. And that's only because us four here, and of course our sophisticated audience who's on the live now, we're students of our culture, we're students of our story. Look how you were able to correct AI, because there's so much misinformation. If we can only get our folks to see that all of this is misinformation about who we are, folks literally mad at one another. I've had close friends who are upset with me because I didn't vote for Kamala and I don't support Kamala. And they really made it a point of contention. And it really makes me question people's level of intelligence. But these are the same people who went and got jabbed up by these folks. Same people who keep believing the lies because they don't know the true story of who we are, how our circumstances came to be in this day and age. So when I see negative images in these old print ads, and then fast forward to modern day communication in terms of the commercials, seldom do you see a Black family. We always have to be diluted with some other nationality or culture. And Malcolm told us, if our coffee is too black, it's too strong, so they dilute it with cream, and before you know it, you won't even know you had coffee. Look at Quincy Jones transitioned. He left his money to his children. Michael Jackson's family, leaving their money. Who do their children look like? Don't look like neither Catherine or Joe. We are being diluted. Our wealth is being transferred. And all we're saying, family, is hold on to your loved ones. We have to stop beefing by the instigators, the people who told us don't love ourselves. You see these images. Could you love an exaggerated negative image of who you are? That don't really look like you. It's just a personification of who they say you are. So you reject that, and rightfully so. But we have to create the narrative and boast our own beauty. Black men, stay with the Black woman. Black woman, support your Black man. Stop letting these people divide us. Kamala will tell you she's black, she's black, she's black. She's looking for the support of Black men and didn't even choose to marry a Black man. She don't even have children, so she didn't even produce quote unquote Black children if she's running with that narrative, because here we know she's Indian. We know she's Indian. But if you're going to say you're Black, at least be Black like Virtue Dozal. Get you some braids. Get you a Black man. Yeah, I'm off the soapbox because there's so much more I want to say, but I can't because it's more emotions than thoughts right now.
Facts, brother, and I feel you on that. Sister Marcia, your thoughts on some of the imagery that are shown as badges of slavery?
I think I will echo everything that my brother Tad said. And the thing is, even if we want to do different, we're afraid to doing different. It's like, I'm going to be persecuted. Like, you don't have freedom of being persecuted because you're afraid of being judged. You're afraid of letting the world know who you are authentically. I would just think, the greasing of the watermelon scene, the petroleum, like, come on. And yet, during the summer times, we'll do skits like this. And I'm not saying we can't be entertained by ourselves, but we should always give a great backstory. Like, why was watermelon made a joke of? Because after our imprisonment and they let us go, that's what we were planting. That's what the ancestors of America was planting. That was their source of income, and they were mad. So to show you that they're mad, they make you make fun of yourself. And now you look at the watermelon industry as, oh no, watermelon farming. No, like, the thing that could liberate us is the thing that we are so afraid of. Destigmatize the thought of growing food.
Sister Marcia just gave you the exact definition of what badges of slavery is: preventing you from doing what you must for yourselves, preventing you. For example, property in Brooklyn, New York is sky high. I'm just telling y'all that right now. Right now, if you ain't got at least 1.7 in your pocket, forget it. It's over. But us not being allowed to purchase a home on Jefferson Avenue, the mere fact that we have to regurgitate Jefferson Avenue is a badge of slavery. You know how many black people lived on Jefferson Avenue, not realizing that that whole block have sued the city and the state for making them live on a name called Jefferson? But again, we don't connect the dots of a reminder of slavery.
Real quick, sis.
Go ahead, brother.
Nostrand and Jefferson, I believe, is now Frederick Douglass Way. Just that corner, though. So salute to them, because we do have to highlight our spots but you're 100% right, sis. And Jefferson is also where they filmed part of the the education of Sonny Carson. Was it the education or the miseducation?
The education of Sonny Carson, of which one of our family members was in that film, K Rush 409. So anyway,
see, history.
There go history.
Our story. Yeah, but go ahead, sis.
My pops was a real G in these streets during that time. A real one. Not a fake one, a real one. But anyway, but these are badges of slavery, and we continue to live them. Now, all of you who were in an uproar about the Democrats losing and the imagery that Kamala Harris showed before the world as she tried to court black men and women for their vote, accepted badges of slavery. That performance with Megan Thee Stallion, you had Cardi B come out and speak on her behalf. You had Fat Joe come out and speak on her behalf. Jennifer Lopez, you had Glorilla, you had Beyonce. Everybody came out to speak on her behalf in the party.
Okra.
Okra
Winfrey.
Okra. But again, these are badges of slavery, because during the inception of the Democrat Party, they did the very same thing. They did a lot to Frederick Douglass, to be exact. Frederick Douglass was actually put on a ballot as vice president nominee without his knowledge.
Wow.
The person who did it, yes, the person who did it used his name to court Black women who could not vote at that time, but wanted to court them for support of the women's suffrage movement. The woman who did that was Victoria Woodhull. Now, for those of us who live in New York City, in particular Brooklyn, you know Woodhull Hospital.
Came right to mind as soon as you said it.
But no one ever thought to investigate who Victoria Woodhull. When you come in, as you going into the emergency room, there's a big picture of Victoria Woodhull right there. But think to yourselves, how many Black children were born in Woodhull Hospital? Victoria Woodhull, if you think Margaret Sanger was bad, you need to focus on Victoria Woodhull. But before we get into that, because it goes deep, but I want to play this clip, something that Brother Tad mentioned last week, and we'll come right back and we'll connect these dots for you all. Give me a second, family. Here we go.
Am I missing something, sis? Because I see us.
It's muted.
Okay.
Are y'all not hearing it?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry about that. Pull that out. Sorry about that, family. Again, Brother Tad, Sister Marcia were engaging in conversation about, Donald Trump coming to the conclusion that we got two genders and that a lot of people in their shenanigans, the jig is up. But I want us to understand, where does this LGBTQ free love movement originate from? And this is why New York is so critical in politics. It is critical in the reparations movement, because so much of the BS started here. The mother of the free love movement was Victoria Woodhull. Victoria Woodhull, and again, as I talk about her, I want you to remember Ida B. Wells speaking out against the white suffrage movement.
Yes.
Sojourner Truth, who got tricked later on by this women's suffrage movement. Not too many people know too much about Sojourner Truth and her agitation against the women's suffrage movement. But no one ever asked, what were those conversations about? What were they speaking out against? This was it. This free love movement that they dissented. Women like Victoria Woodhull, let me just say, she was born, I think, in Ohio, but then later moved to New York. Her parents had 10 children. I believe she was 7 of number 10. She, and I put some links in our description so that you guys can, watch these videos about Victoria Woodhull and do your own research tonight. But anyway, at a young age, I believe 7 or 8 years old, her father made her a street corner preacher, if you will. And she began to gather large crowds. He pretty much hustled his children. He himself was a woman beater. He beat the hell out of her mother consistently. He was a drunk. He had owned a factory, I believe it was, and never did anything with the property. But he did take out $4,000 property insurance. And then right after that, the building was set ablaze. So he's known for being a con artist. But anyway, later on, Victoria, I believe she left her parents' home when she was about 16 or 17. But anyway, she leaves and she hooks up with these three sisters called the Fox sisters. They were two young girls, but they were con artists. You know, they labeled themselves as spiritualists, and they pretended that they can, hear voices from beyond and speak to the dead and all this old kind of stuff. So it was a major attraction, if you will. So her and her sister Tennessee began to hang out with the Fox sisters. The Fox sisters, I think they had went to jail for selling a fake medicine. Now, this medicine comprised of alcohol and some type of opioid, right? That they were giving people. So, of course, if you high and drunk, you can see all kinds of spirits. You see what I'm saying? So this was the game that they were running, right? So Victoria Woodhull, later on, she opens up a brothel, if you will. And men of stature began to attend these brothels. One notably was Cornelius Vanderbilt of the Vanderbilt family. He believed in their nonsense so much that he hired them, to speak to his dead mama and everything. So in this con, they were able to get seed money, right? So Victoria Woodhull opens up a brokerage firm. I believe it's 44 Bond Street. And there is a small plaque down there. But anyway, she opens up this brokerage firm and she began trading. Now, who were the first commodities on the stock market?
Us.
So again, you thinking this is right after the Civil War. She starts all of this, but again, she was a loose woman. She was outside, if you will. Even though she was married, she
was in them streets like Kamala.
Yes, on her back. See the connection? Now, not only was she a hoe, and so was her husband. No, it's true. This is true. Y'all can research. Listen,
no, I'm just saying we can say that on YouTube. We can say that on YouTube because I thought it was 3 or 4.
She was a hoe.
All right.
She was a hoe. Victoria Woodhull, a whore.
Hoe ass hoe.
That's it. So anyway, she had money and means, if you will. I believe she even told the story and made money off of the story of her father molesting her. Her father was a wicked son of a so-and-so. And y'all can research him if you want to. But anyway, she leaves home, marries this man, and later on, again hooking up with Cornelius Vanderbilt of Wappinger Falls, the same county that Tawana Broly was kidnapped and sexually assaulted in. So just hold all of this in mind, family. Now, as Victoria goes on about her life, she started her own newspaper, if you will, and it became very popular. It was like the National Enquirer of that day, right? And one of the persons that she wrote about in her gossip column was Henry Ward Beecher, right? Who is the brother of Harriet Beecher Stowe. The story that she wrote about Henry Ward Beecher was that he was an adulterer, that he, was a part of this free love movement, but he just didn't tell anybody. So that was a big thing. And, there was a criminal case because, again, adultery was a crime back then. So there was a case right here in Brooklyn, downtown Brooklyn, family, where it took place. So anyway, there was a lot of fanfare. A lot of people came from all over the country to learn about what was happening with Henry Ward Beecher because, again, he was a man of means. His family was a prominent family in the United States at that particular time. So again, Victoria Woodhull decided that, she should run for president so that she can push this free love movement. And she throws her hat in the ring to run for president. But of course, it was illegal because she was 34 and you have to be 35 to run for president in the United States. So she didn't get any votes whatsoever, but to garner attention, because again, she was a loose woman. So most women didn't want to be around certain things, As a matter of fact, I believe Susan B. McKinney had a problem with her in doing that, and they had arguments back and forward. When you read their memoirs, they argued about these things. And so anyway, she used the image of Frederick Douglass to garner support among abolitionists, saying that, I'm fighting for the free love movement, but I believe slavery is wrong. But Frederick Douglass was pissed off about that. He never acknowledged it. In fact, when he found out that his name was on the ballot, he spoke out against it and said, he was in support of Ulysses Grant, who was on the ticket. This was his second run. And, Frederick Douglass had access. Whether you agree or disagree with him or not, he had access to many of presidents. And so she tried to use him. But again, that's a badge of slavery. White folks and white companies using black folks for their own ill-gotten gains. That's a badge of slavery. And so, for all of the descendants of Frederick Douglass, maybe you should be suing the Woodhull family for that. But anyway, that's another topic. So again, Sojourner Truth comes along, and she begins to talk about what was going on with the suffrage movement. Now, a lot of people like to talk about that speech, "Ain't I a slave?" Ain't I a woman, rather. But it's up for debate whether or not she actually recited that speech. And I'm in agreement with that. Because when I look at certain documentation, it is someone else accounting of, right? So again, why does Victoria Woodhull need an association with a former enslaved woman to help her along her suffrage conquest, if you will? It is because Sojourner Truth, not only did she sue and win the freedom of her son, but again, she was the only black woman at that time to sue a white man for defamation and win. So again, taking black people who were doing big things during that time and using them for ill-gotten gains. These are badges of slavery, like today. Trying to use black women and black men to get a candidate to win on a particular party, berating black men and black women. If they don't do it, these are all badges of slavery. The Democrat Party are co-conspirators in our enslavement. They are co-conspirators in our oppression in this country. And for them to do such a thing, and I know Kamala Harris is an attorney. A whole lot of them are attorneys and they know better. But you don't know. So you can't question them on these things. So they give you entertainment. They give you entertainment. Now, Sojourner Truth, let me go here, family, because I want y'all to see something here. She didn't run away. She walked away, when she was captured. Because let me just read this and y'all understand. Sojourner Truth says she did not escape slavery. She left. Instead, she chose to end her bondage. Born Isabel Bromfree in 1797 in New York State, she changed her name to Sojourner Truth soon after leaving enslavement and became an abolitionist and activist for women's rights. Women's rights or Black women's rights? Who's telling the story? And that's why when you go into these archives and you go into the historical societies and you get access to things, you begin to see that it's someone else's accounting. Not exactly Sojourner Truth's, but let me read on. Where was I? Let me start here. Her third suit was brought against a conductor who forcibly removed her from a train based on her race. Sojourner Truth was one of 12 children born to James and Elizabeth Bromfrey in Squawkill, New York. Under New York's emancipation law, enslaved Africans born before July 4th, 1799 will be free on July 4th, 1827. She and her family toiled in the fields of upstate New York for free under many different overseers. Isabella had the word of her slaveholder, John Dumont. Freedom would be hers by July 4th, 1826. She's like, I'm not waiting to 1827. This dude said he was going to free me this year. I'm leaving. But of course, enslavers use these kind of tactics to keep Black people enslaved longer than they should. Now, if she was freed in 1827, you had the kidnapping clubs that were vibrant during that time. So she had to look out for them as well. One of the main components of the kidnapping club was the Democrat Party. And this is why I'm saying, if anybody need to make reparations happen, Black people must put demands on the Democratic Party today. Today. We want ours, because from then until now, you enact badges of slavery, which is against the 13th Amendment. You're breaking the law and you're breaking my spirit. So when you argue these points before folks, I want you to have an articulate understanding of history so that you can leave the emotion out of your argument and stand on facts. It's very easy to do. Leave the emotion out of it. Even Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas said he's all for reparations, but under certain stipulations, meaning it has to be for Black folks who were enslaved here. You have to know how to present the argument. Let's read on. Dumont figured an injury to Isabella's hand cost him vital services. He would not free her until he believed himself sufficiently compensated for lost labor. Her hand was injured while laboring for Dumont. Slaveholders were notorious for making false promises to slaves regarding emancipation. The Democrat and Republican parties are notorious for making promises to Black people that they don't adhere to. Nothing has changed, family. Nothing. Okay? Isabella had been bred to create more enslaved property for her slaveholders. Okay? They were breeding her. She got tired of it. Okay? I'm going to stop reading there. But I want y'all to understand how white folks continue to use us to this very day for their own benefit. In particular, these two political parties. Go ahead, Brother Black.
Real quick, I'm sorry. I have to ask you to read what's right after that, what you just read, because that was so profoundly deep, and I don't even know if you saw it. Can you go back slightly and see what was said right after what you last read? I think we lost his moment.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me see.
Okay.
Let me go back.
Thank you.
All right. You talking about where I said she was bred, right? Is that what you're talking about? Black? All right. I'm gonna read
unmute, Black. Unmute, Black.
Is that what you're talking about? I'm gonna just
You
start
left
from
off
there.
that Mr. Dumont had been nursed in the very lap of slavery, and being naturally a man of kind feelings, treated because when you had stopped, you
Right.
were talking about a hand being injured.
Okay.
And
All
slaveholders were notorious for making false promises for slaves regarding emancipation. That's where you stopped, and then it goes to Mr. Dumont.
Okay. Mr. Dumont had been nursed in the very lap of slavery, meaning he know all about slavery. This is what he come up in. You understand what I'm saying? And being naturally a man of kind feelings, treated his slaves with all the consideration he did his other animals.
And more.
And more. Perhaps, yes, perhaps Sojourner said years later, Isabella had been bred to create more enslaved property for her enslaver.
Okay, the next sentence, and that's it. The next sentence.
Okay. Robert, the man Isabella loved, was beaten and driven away by her slaveholder because Robert belonged to a different enslaver, and thus any children of their union would not accrue to his plantation. Isabella nursed the Dumont's children, farmed the land, and tended the cattle. Isabella chose to end her bondage. Taking her youngest child, Peter, she escaped in 1826. Given her birthday in New York law, given her birthday, the New York law freed her in 1827. In 1827, however, Dumont had promised her freedom in 1826. She refused to wait until 1827 to receive it. As she expected, Dumont found her nearby. He accused her of running away from him. Sojourner Truth calmly replied, "No, I did not run away. I walked away by daylight." She refused to return and was offered permanent shelter at a farm owned by Isaac and Marie Van Wagner. Dumont refused to leave without Isabella. The Van Wagners did not believe in slavery. Paid Dumont for the services remaining in her last year of servitude. Dumont left with $20 for Isabella and $5 for Peter.
Damn.
So again, when I ask children, what do they know about Sojourner Truth? They can't tell you much. They can't. Isabella would work for the Van Wagners and be treated well. It was while Isabella was employed at the Van Wagner farm that she chose to change her name to Isabella Van Wagner. The Van Wagners encouraged Isabella in her religious exploitation, attending religious meetings. She developed a deep and abiding connection with God. Her destiny to the truth about slavery required her to once again change her name. In 1843, Isabella Van Wagner became Sojourner Truth. Okay? So again, family, these are badges of slavery. These folks have always used the same tricks. Nothing is different. Nothing. So, Brother Black, did you know anything about Sojourner Truth? At least some of the things that I read tonight prior? I think we lost Black. All right, Brother Ted.
You didn't lose me.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
Sister, I don't know, for whatever reason, every time I hit the mute button, it put me out for like 10 seconds. Anyway, the point I'm making is that, no, I did not know much about Sister Truth. I knew she was a great woman. I've been hearing about her. I've been hearing her name all my life, but I never looked into her. And I thank you for the education, Sister Keisha. I wasn't expecting that. That's why I was reading a little before you. And when I saw that part, it was so psychologically important to everything we're mentioning, because everything as a result of that, even though it wound up being a good look for her, is still a badge of slavery, like you just said. Another badge of slavery I want to cover before I give it right back to you, sis, is this. This black relationship where people talking about 50-50 and sprinkle online like crazy nowadays is another badge of slavery that we have to rectify post-haste. Everybody ain't rich. Everybody can't afford to pay all your bills. Okay? And a man should be working and able to at least help you in the event y'all together in a relationship. Just to sum that up in one fell swoop. I'm done.
Brother Tad, your thoughts on some information we just read on Sojourner Truth?
You know what? It's good to get the refresher course because I read about Sojourner Truth so many years ago. Of course, I got the book somewhere on the book stand behind me. But yeah, it's good because it's a reminder that we need a refresher course on Sojourner's Truth story because we often hear about Harriet Tubman. Seldom do we hear about Sojourner Truth because we're always conditioned that slavery was pretty much a Southern thing, and there really wasn't no slavery in the North. We know there was, but popular consensus is that it only existed in the South and not so much of the North. Not realizing that slavery existed all throughout this country, except out west where it wasn't, where the land wasn't conquered yet or stolen, I should say. But again, the badges of slavery, we know these things. The thing is, how do we really deliver it to our folks? Because our folks are running around like slaves. I said this years ago, people always saying, I could have never been a slave. I could have never been a slave. Not aware that they're slaves right now. And they're not doing anything to resist it. The Democrats tell them jump, they jump. They tell you cut off your friends. If they don't see things your way, you do it. They don't realize that is how slaves operate. They do as they're told. They don't exercise free thinking. They don't exercise their own thoughts. They don't behave of their own volition. They wait for somebody to tell them what to do. And then that's a slave in every sense of the word that we use it here in America. A person who can't think for themselves. That's a slave. Our folks were enslaved. That's why we knew to run away or, like Sister Sojourner Truth, walk away, because you don't have to participate in these things. And this is what we keep trying to tell people. You don't have to participate. It gets me, Sister Keisha, even with people with jobs, when they ask, can they take a day off? I never ask. I always give you information. I'm not going to be here on this day. I don't ask for people permission because I have no boss. I have supervisors and employers. That's it. You are not my boss. Nobody is my boss. And I keep reminding people of that. You need to tap into your own power. But if you don't read these stories of our ancestors, that's why I get mad when people be like, oh, you going to mess around and find out. We ain't our ancestors. Right, because our ancestors got busy. These Negroes don't. So don't act like you saying something when you be like, oh, I'm not my ancestors. Yeah, your ancestors had pride and dignity, and you Negroes don't. But that's my piece on Sojourner Truth.
Oh, God. Sister Marcia, your thoughts?
I'd like to thank you, Sister Keisha, for the bringing back our story to life. I had, during COVID, presented on Sojourner Truth, and I really never knew her story until a few years ago. Like, I knew she was a free Black woman, but I didn't know that she walked so many miles to free her son and supposedly gave a speech or didn't give a speech. But the courage and the bravery of doing something that's beyond love. Like, nope, I got to walk 3,000 miles. I secure one baby over here. I'll be back. I'm going to go get your brother. And she said it. I'm going to go get your brother, and came home with her brother. They may have departed and, did what they had to do, but it is the strength of love that allowed her to do all of these things and fight the way she fought. We don't fight. Like Brother Tad said, we're not our ancestors. We won't do half the crap that they did. We are just like, nope, I want to go to the mall, sew clothes. Oh no, I can't sew my clothes. I gotta buy Louis Vuitton. I gotta buy this. And Brother Black line, the Akhenaten line could be out and nobody want to buy it because it's Akhenaten line. You know what I mean? So it's just the
Anunnaki, you're gonna
it's the pride that we have that we don't have, that our ancestors had. Can we get back to that? Can we get back to that appreciation of each other? We're like you always say, we're not a monolith. True. But there has to be a foundation about us all that will carry us on, that would create that journey for us. But right now, shit, these women are still yelling about Kamala. She just lost $20 million of your dollars. She's paying $10 million to this person, $1 million to this person, $5 million to that person, and you live in check to check. But you believed in the dream. And you won't call it out. You won't say, I want my money back. You ain't waiting to give me back my money. In most election, it is said that the candidate comes off with a windfall, is pocketing money. You're depressing. And you wanted to represent us? This is what y'all wanted. This is what y'all wanted, sisters. This is how she was going to represent y'all. I'm just saying. She's established a lot of things. She established on day one that she doesn't respect you. She walked away. She ain't say, y'all, it's not looking good. I'll come back and talk to y'all tomorrow. She ain't say that. She walked away from you. And now she just lost $20 million and y'all not even bitching. Excuse me. Y'all not saying anything about it.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother.
I'm sorry. No. Say what you're going to say, and then I can ask after, please.
No, I'm just saying that, it's kind of ironic that so many Black women, the Divine Nine group, I'm speaking of specifically, came out in support of Kamala Harris, but you didn't get the right to vote until 65. Right. She had it before you. You see what I'm saying? History, another badge of slavery. When you know history, they can't come at you with foolishness. That's why you won't see me in none of these debates. They'd rather kill a mama because I will destroy them.
We need you to, sis. We need you to just come through like a whirlwind and just
destroy their asses.
Mash them all, because it is foolishness. And like Sister Farnessa said, they talking about not giving men any for the next 4 years. Them women that's withholding, nobody wants it anyway. I saw them. I saw their video. You couldn't pay me. You could not pay me. Please keep it to yourself. You'd be doing us all a favor.
But too, Brother Tad, even that comment of not giving your man, this is what Victoria Woodhull talked about back then. I'm telling y'all, read up on her if you think I'm lying. If you think I'm lying, matter of fact, I'm gonna pull up something in a minute. But she did this very same thing. In fact, Democrat voters often honor her. They go to her gravesite. She's buried in Greenwood Cemetery. That's also something to see. You see who's buried in the Yes, sir.
Greenwood and Bushwood.
No, Greenwood is on 25th Street. I think it's East 25th in Brooklyn.
Okay.
I think that's the street. But I think you're talking about Evergreen. That's where my great grandmother is buried in Evergreen. Yeah. And the Nostrans are buried there.
Yeah, that sucker Marion J. Sims.
Yes, is buried there. But Greenwood actually cemetery, just a little backstory, was actually a battleground during the Revolutionary War. So again, I know my city. Trust me, I know where I live at. I know the history very well. But anyway, so again, going back to the book, She Took Justice. There's a story about Margot. Now, A lot of y'all have seen the movie Amistad. You know about Cinque. Shout out to MWM. Yeah, shout out to MWM. Dr. Filet on the chat. She says Sojourner Truth is one of the MWM sister saints. But Margot, going to the Amistad uprising, family, was a 10-year-old girl during this kidnapping of Cinque, who was the chief's son, along with a dozen African men. They were walking nearly 100 miles to the Atlantic. They were walked, nearly 100 miles to the Atlantic coast. After a time, in a slave pen, they were all forced on board the Portuguese ship Takara, which in the dark, feces covered a hole from the ship, no room for standing. After 3 months at sea, could you imagine? The ship docked in Cuba. The female and male hostages were sold on the auction block. After the purchase, they were forced onto another slave ship. Margot was one of the women forced into the sweltering hull of the slave ship. When it set sail on June 27, 1839, the schooner was called the Amistad. Okay? Now, I can't really go into, because Margot's story is very significant as far as Black women is concerned, and everything that this young girl did will blow your mind. But we'll save that for another time. But I want you to know her name, because people know Cinque, nobody don't know Margot. Okay? Next week, we're going to talk about her. For those of you who want the book, again, it's called She Took Justice. You can buy it online. I think Amazon has it or whatever. But here's the cover of the book of She Took Justice. There's another book I want you all to get. Excuse me a minute. Let me just scroll up. There it goes. There it is. I missed it. This is the book I mentioned last week. The True and Detailed Racist History of the Democratic Party. And then you should get this book, Sundown Towns, A Hidden Dimension of American Racism by James Loewen. Now, this particular book talks about sundown towns, specifically in the North. You know, they talk about some in the South, but they mention a lot of the northern sundown towns, which are still prevalent today. New York City has sundown towns. I don't care what nobody tells you. Okay, for all of you out of towners, you better be on your P's and Q's and how you move out here. Okay, so check out those books when you can. I like to thank Gloria J. Brown Marshall. I wish I could see and be with her this weekend, but I'm on babysitting duty. I got Farrah. I got to watch my sister dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm locked in. This weekend, so I can't do nothing. But
you will be missed. I will be in the house. You know,
yes,
that. The brother Tashango, who's also going to be having a presentation, he is really good with talking to the young people. I have he has Jedna'd some classes with the young kings as you, Sister Keisha. So, you know, he is really spectacular when he's engaging with the children, you know. So I'll be there with my little children, hopefully.
I sure wanted to be there, but of course, you know, family first. I got to do what I have to do. But anyway, you know, you guys can definitely check that out at your leisure. Look at the links that I put in the description so you can learn more about Victoria Woodhull, and come back and let me know what you find out. Tell me about these videos, because I'm not allowed to play them. But when you see them and you come back and you tell me if they aren't using the same playbook today. So we got to be smart and strategic in how we move out here. I want to also mention before I get, oh shucks, I close it down. Oh, here it is, family. I'm telling you, boy, I will find some stuff on your tail. We going to Harvard. All right, let's go to Harvard. You know, I know some folks like good white sources, so we're going to get it to you. We're going to get it to you. Okay. Here it is. Victoria Woodhull ran for president against Ulysses S. Grant, chose abolitionist Frederick Douglass as her running mate in 1872. Now, you know, we all came through the public school system. Some of us came through the Catholic school system. None of them bastards ever told me this when I was in school.
Never.
But they
I
had
don't
Frederick
think they
Douglass.
know.
They had this picture along with Shirley Chisholm and everybody else. I'm just saying, you know, be careful of these people they put before you too. And why do they put them before you? Why is there monuments in New York City? I'm speaking specifically, state parks and everything named after Shirley Chisholm. I can't find a letter on Charlene Mitchell. But again, why did they choose her? They chose her because they want to bury our greatness, especially Black women here in this country who came from this soil. Shirley Chisholm's family didn't come from this soil. Although she, you know, grew up in Brooklyn, you know, held congressional seat in Brooklyn, definitely a Brooklynite. How she moved. She used to come and see her cousin, Miss Mert, in Fort Greene. That's what my shirt say. I saw somebody in the chat ask that. What does it say? Fort Greene strong. But she didn't come from this soil. And they have a tendency to do this because they don't want you to investigate and find out why. Why would I give you a woman who had on her platform, number one, reparations. Two, she talked about the brutality of Black people in this country. Yeah, she had some feminist stuff going on, but that was secondary. Nobody talks about that. You know, I saw an interview with Charleston White, and he said that he would never follow a woman. Well, family, we could have had reparations in 2008 if you had voted for Cynthia McKinney. I know for certain most people ain't know she was on the goddamn ballot.
Yep.
Well, her vice president pick was Rosa Clemente. How come nobody? Y'all was so gung-ho on Obama. And this is what they do. They know your ass don't read. They know it. I'm telling you. Listen, and in certain places, they look at you a certain way when you pull up. You know, I love my sister Marcia. She said when we went to the New York Historical, she said the air is different up here. You know, it's a little bit more snooty up here. You know what I mean? Than any other museums. But they don't expect you to be there.
Yeah, our people were not there. I think we were, you know, including the children, we were it.
Period. And I'll be rolling up in these places by my goddamn self. When I ask for access to the archives, they rush me in there because they don't see us in here. They don't see us doing these things. But I'm a hunter investigator. I am nosy. And I love it. You call me nosy. I don't give a damn. I love being nosy because that's how you find out things. So when I started to peel back the layers of some of these stories, you know, I'm like, wow, it blew my mind. So that's why when you go on a museum trip with Sister Keisha, I always tell the group I'm with, do you want to know the story they give you or you want to know the real story? Right? You have an option. You know, we went out, me and my swap sisters, we was out in DC, I think in April. And I said, do you want to know the real story? When we was in Baltimore, we went to the Great Blacks and Wax. Or do you want to know what they telling you? Right? They got a big statue of Sojourner Truth in that museum. Nobody talks about her legal cases. Nobody talks about the abuse she suffered. There is a plaque of Sojourner Truth on a highway in upstate New York. I forget the damn number, but it's on your way to New Paltz University. New Paltz has a Sojourner Truth library. It's huge. And when you're coming down the stairs, there is a stained glass mural of her. It just takes your breath away, right? But again, how many of us know this exists? If you don't hang out in upstate New York, you don't know this exists. You could have
And
been
what part
driving
of
on
upstate New York is this?
New Paltz.
New Paltz.
Yes. You would never know. But I'm saying, family, become hunter investigators. Research more. I don't want us to be stupid anymore. As we move into a new political cycle, as we get ready to eject ourselves from these two political parties, have a historical foundation to stand on. It is disrespectful to our ancestors to be wedded to either party. Understand the reason why you suffer today is because your ancestors is pissed off. I would be pissed off if I leave this world today and my grandson hook up with a Yarugu, marry a Yarugu, have some biracial kids running around here, I'm gonna snuff him out in his sleep. I'll tell you that right now. Now, going back to Frederick Douglass, you know, he was hold on, let me go back. I want y'all to see this. I don't want to get nothing messed up.
Now, real quick, Sister Keisha, it's New Paltz, Paltz, or Paul?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a few hours upstate from New York. It ain't that far up. About 2 hours.
Paltz, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
University of New Paltz.
It's about a 2-hour trip up, Tad. Sister Keisha, I want to ask a question before we segue back into this real quick. In reference to Ye's question, comment, can we examine a little bit and address the slavery was a choice comment? Would y'all like to, look at that in retrospect?
Is it a choice?
I think it was.
No, I don't think so. And let me explain why. And I know my brother Tad differs, but let me explain why. Let me explain why. Today, who's on the bottom? Is it white men or black men?
Black men.
Why is that?
Because personally, I'll say because we don't know. We forgot. We forgot what we knew, that we're in the war and we're no longer fighting. We haven't always been at the bottom. So, and I think, that's why I say that right now it's a choice, because even when we give the people the information, they choose not to fight. They choose not even to accept this information. I think, and to Black's point, when Kanye made that statement, we got to remember who he was talking to, because, and I always go back to this, slavery wasn't the topic. He was using slavery as an analogy, talking about being prisoners to our thoughts. See, slavery is a mentality. Our folks were enslaved, and and slavery is an institution. A slave is a product of that institution. Like school is an institution for learning. It's an institution that produces scholars. Everybody who go to school don't come out a scholar. So I say everyone who was enslaved didn't come out as a slave, like Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, Gabriel Prosser, and the likes. So when we say a slave, in my summation, it is a choice, because I've never accepted that title of a slave. As we talk about Negroes today who don't know the badges of slavery and don't want to know. Many of us are still learning things tonight. Right now, during this 2-hour conversation, we're still learning, but our minds are open to receive this information because we want freedom. Other folks close their minds because they don't want to know. And in my eyes, that's what makes them a slave. So they are choosing to ignore this information. They know we're on the bottom, but they don't want to get the information to get from up under the bottom, because we haven't always been on the bottom. Even in this society known as the United States of America, we haven't always been on the bottom, and our folks need to know these things. But again, as you open the show with the images, too many of our folks bought into the negative images of what it is to be Black, bought into the negative images of blackness. That's why so many people were not offended when Kamala brought up black women, the mothers of civilization, acting like common harlots. People weren't offended because they don't know no better. They don't know no better because in the age of information, they're making a choice to be ignorant. They're choosing not to know. But that's just my position. I could be wrong.
My position is this. It's not a choice. When you have, and I want to refer to something Kadir has in the comment, he says, who has the biggest gun to instill fear and propaganda? Kanye was right in his assessment based on his understanding of history, society, and how it all works. Where he was wrong is that, and they proved him to be such, they took everything from him. You can only do that to a slave. He can't fight back anyway unless they allow him to. He can appeal in the courts. They have to allow you to do that. If you don't have a military might and the opponent does, you are his captive. So when people say, shout out to the history hitman, when people say we're at war, are we, or are we getting slaughtered? War is a combat between opposing sides. Who are we combating against? You know,
Crazy.
Even though we're putting out a lot of information to help our people wake up, not just Thorough Black Talk, but all Black media, whether you agree or disagree with those platforms.
And shout out to all of them.
Everybody, we doing a hell of a job. And that's the danger of it. But again, we have constraints. There are certain words we can't use. We have voted ourselves into a mitigated version of the First Amendment. So again, power concedes nothing without a demand. Your demand has to be backed by a power component for someone to back up off of you. So we all can get into an argument, but if Brother Black got an M16, we all gonna be real quiet, or we gonna die. And this is the dilemma that we're facing. We have two components we could use to fight back in a military stance. That's politically or physically. And most people, shout out to Brother Ray Ray and the BK William Mackey History Club. Yeah. Most people don't want to face military might or be put in prison up in the mountains nowhere. So you reserve certain things. That's power. That's a position of aggression, and it puts us in a position of permanent oppression unless we do one of two things. So I know that our people ain't ready for what really needs to be done. Some of us, a lot of us here listening on this platform, and the four of us, we've been ready. So my other avenue, and the only avenue, is to go politically. But even that is challenging. You have a conditioned mindset, as you and the three of you guys here have heard during this last election cycle. People berating people, shutting down people's channels. Hell, my ex is still suspended, Elon. But you talk about free speech, but mine is still suspended. So again, that's a power component. You see the difference? So understand how warfare really works. And I'm so thankful that I have so many military minds around me that have trained me and taught me how to look at war and what it really is. I am so thankful for their education, and I see it very clearly. Because if we weren't, we would have been flipped this a long time ago. You don't have the weaponry to go against them. You don't have the legal might. You don't even have the legal understanding. Although you are presumed to know the law, you're not taught the law. They teach you ABCs in school. They don't teach you law.
Or legalese at that. Because folks think they know the law.
They don't teach us financial literacy in kindergarten. But they teach you
when a kindergartner doesn't know their ABCs or can't spell their name, you know we're in big cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. These little people don't know a lot of stuff.
So now, you know, President-elect Donald Trump is offering $10,000 for you to homeschool your own kids. My education came by self. I am a true testament of Carter G. Woodson. I know my Uncle Sonny is watching. When I was 19 years old, I was making great money. At 19, I had 401ks before people even know what the hell he was. He couldn't tell me nothing. You see what I'm saying? And the more educated we get, the further removed we are from this war. It keeps us more oppressed. I showed a couple of weeks ago a 13-year-old being recruited by Microsoft and other folks. She's from the continent because her understanding of STEM. Where's our component to match that? We don't have one. Right. We don't have an intelligence agency. Mm-hmm. They do. They watch and monitor everything. It's cameras every goddamn where. Mm-hmm. We don't control none of it.
We are not cultivating anything. We're not bringing out the geniuses. We don't need to awaken them. They're already woke, but we're not cultivating their geniuses
because we don't know.
It's not even that. It's not even that, Sister Marcia. If somebody is offering you $100,000 and you offer nothing, and my family is struggling, I'm going over there. That's where all these entertainers. That's how they got them. Took all of their genius, whether it was music, whether it was acting, whether it was art, whatever it is, took the genius because we know you don't have an antidote for it. That's why our people are still wedded to these political parties today. They don't see a way out. So that's why when people say, well, if you ain't voting for Kamala, you must be voting for Trump. I know y'all heard that, right? Because they can't see a way out. That's
that you could write in a name. You could vote every other portion of the ballot and not that portion. Yep. You could do anything.
And sis, you know what they're gonna say? And you know what the argument is?
Just go in there and get your tally, slip in a blank form, and they can't tell you nothing.
Listen, you know what they say? Why you wasting your vote? Why are you wasting your vote?
How am I wasting my vote?
I don't know. That's the rhetoric they'll say.
The mere fact that the police still pick up that thumb drive and turn it into the border, that's a badge of slavery. We were hunted by such entities. How dare you come into my community and take my vote? We don't know this because we weren't taught these things. Again, changing the mindset. Again, I agree with a lot of things and some things that Charleston White say and some of the things he says is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, the whole thing that you can't be governed by a woman. Who's your mother?
That's the problem. See, that's the problem. Do we honor the first mother? We don't. We don't even mention her name. You see what I'm saying? If I poll 100 students today and I said Danknish, they look at me like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, right.
But again, that's power. We are not fighting a war. We're getting slaughtered.
Yeah.
I want us to begin to change our mindset that we are military generals. When I go into these places, I'm an intelligence agent. Period. I'm an intelligence agent. I have my network. I created my own network around myself for intelligence. Are you doing that? I have people in the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force giving me a whole lot of intel. Do you have that component? So I'm saying, family, we have to change our thought process. We have to be clear in what it is that we're facing and how we should move forward. Because whether you believe in the flash that's coming, you believe in Jesus Christ, Allah, whoever, that's your own personal business. I don't want to know. But what I
believe
do
in
want to know
something.
is what side of the aisle you fighting on. Because if you don't have to fight with me, don't fight against me.
Or
we have too many black people fighting against us. Right? They used to call us the Hoteps and all this old kind of stuff. Remember that?
Yep, the ashy Hoteps. And I keep a good bottle of baby oil and shea butter.
Now look, y'all all running away
no
from baby oil. Diddy
Diddy
oil.
Puff done messed that up. I tell you, these gays done messed up everything. Messed up baby oil, messed up down low, messed up rainbows. Done stole the word gay. Gay used to mean happy. They done took everything. Now you can't use baby oil.
You ain't got nothing.
I like what Sister Aruba 927. Shout out to her. You know, she's a mod on Doggy Diamonds TV. Y'all should know that. But anyway, I like what she said. Yes, the mindset has to change.
Absolutely.
Even our fight. You know, I love a lot of y'all.
We have to cultivate it.
I love a lot of y'all and what you're doing. Bless your heart. As my grandmother used to say, bless your heart. You still using these old goddamn tactics.
You mean Martian don't work no more?
And y'all about to take over everything.
What Martian has done for you in the last 20 years?
What Martian has done for me?
Everything.
It got me free.
Free from what?
Free from the house. I went outside. I had a reason to go out. I have a cabin fever. They said it's a margin downtown. I walked out the door.
If you free, your brother's free. And like you made that example that your brother got to still go, boss, can I take a day off? Versus, boss, these are the days I'm taking off. See you when I get back.
That's a fact.
You know?
Period. You don't got to give no explanation.
Right. Nope. And this whole, you got to let me know 3 days before, whatever.
No,
I made my decision at 9:00 this morning. I'm not going to be here come the next day.
So I hope that next year, when election day come around, you stay your ass home, Black Solidarity Day, family. Stop going to the... I didn't let my child go to school, nothing.
Yeah, I didn't go food shopping on Monday like I was supposed to. I said, nah, it's Black Solidarity Day. We just going to have to wait a day. That's all.
That's it. The only thing I would say you get is medication. We don't want y'all falling out, having little fits, whatever it is you want.
And if you take care of yourself, chances are you really won't need it. Your food should be your medicine.
Y'all heard Brother Tap. Drop the mic on that.
Nah, say that. Yo, you see RFK saying we getting all of these chemicals, all this stuff you can't pronounce, we getting them out of our food.
Out of
here.
It's
about time.
It's about out time. Of here. Glycokinaikanaikalake. Out of here. Food chose couch coach cut. Out of here.
You sound like Orlando Brown right there.
Yeah, right.
That's all right. That's all right. You sound like him a lot of the times.
I'm talking about what you said. I ain't talking about how you sound.
Woo! I'm talking about what you said, not how you sound either. The flash is coming. I appreciate the flash. Orlando is right a lot of the times, so I don't remove the idea of receiving information from people.
So you think
filter that information. Him? Say that again.
You think Busta Rhymes touched him?
God damn it. I used to be so in love with him. Sister Keisha's the one that really broke my heart on Busta.
Even when he had them buns in the strapless shirts.
Listen.
When Busta was wearing the halter tops and the
a lot of West Indian men were dressing like that during that time. Remember, Busta's from Jamaica. So when you go into the Jamaican clubs down on Utica,
yeah, exactly.
That's fly.
Bachi Mandem.
Oh man, Sister Keisha broke my heart. I was like, oh no.
Just Keisha ain't do it.
Like, yes.
She ain't do it. He did it.
Badge of slavery.
I didn't go that far. Her telling me her words just broke my heart.
Why you ain't see it?
Because I was still in love with him in my head, in my fantasy. He was still there.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I'm glad you're free, sister. I'm glad you're free.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Freedom. I can't lose.
Just as in a quick
I paid
aside,
$10 million just to sing that part.
just as an aside, it looks like Ray J may be implicated in the murder of Whitney Houston.
So I heard. And he
But
said somebody's bucking at him.
allegedly, that was said like the first few weeks post
But hold
her
up, hold up.
unaliving.
Ray J can't say shit because he let Nicki Minaj punk him. He's groveling like a little chick. All respect gone. I don't care how much money she got. You don't grovel.
Here's the thing. Like, you know, he's like Sister Marcia said, you know, they dress a little different. Here's the thing, family. When I travel abroad, I know the rules. When you come here, you better know the rules. How we do things here. I don't care about what you do. It's what we do here. Period. Now, if you want to do that, go over there with it, but not here. I want to play this clip of Luke Campbell, who I can't stand. I never liked him. I never liked his music. Listen, anybody who knows me, especially my family, and some of them in the chat, they'll tell you I'm dead set against the degeneracy. Always have been. I never listened to his music in my house. None of that. You never heard my daughter. I'll bring on here next week to confirm what I'm saying. We didn't play Beyonce in my house. We didn't play Jay-Z in my house. Now, when she went outside, she can do what she want to. But I'm not going to be a catalyst to her degeneracy. People would say he's the greatest rapper, period. Really? When he took everybody else's lyrics and made songs out of them? Are y'all that dumb? Well, I guess you are if you believe he's one of the greatest of all times. Go back and listen to all of his lyrics and see if you ain't ever heard them before. Knock it off. But I'm going to play this clip, and I want us to be respectful of our plight here in this country. Luke Campbell, though he was raised in Florida, his lineage ain't from here. I think his mother is from the Bahamas, his father's Jamaican. But he made some comments, you know, that really bothered me, especially when it comes to, I'm just let it play, and we'll come back. Hold on.
Check out this video of Luke on the Dan Le Batard show speaking about the 12% of black men who voted for Trump.
These 12% of black men who voted for this psycho. I sat home. I'm looking forward to them get their ass lynched by the police officers. I'm not going to protest under no circumstance at all.
So Luke want black men who voted for Trump to be lynched, a traumatic experience within black history. He wished this upon black men because they exercise their rights to vote for whatever candidate they see fit. How come we're so loose with black trauma? Lynching, police beating, that's what you wish upon another black man because he exercises the right to vote? Also in that clip, you hear Dan Le Batard actually laughing at that. So these people are supposed to be our allies, laughing at black trauma, laughing at the experience of what black people went through. That's unacceptable. Yo, check out this video of Luke.
I'm tired of the disrespect. You know, you ain't never read Without Sanctuary. You don't understand. Just to say that about another black man. When in Florida, his home state, wasn't Trayvon Martin unalive down there?
Mm-hmm.
This from a man who permeated our community with degeneracy. You have no standing, sir. You have no standing. Your thoughts?
I think you hit it right on the head. Luke is not from our lineage, so he don't understand the severity of what he's saying. Part one. Part two, Luke is a degenerate. He's only popular. He's not intelligent. He's not known for his intelligence. In fact, he was one of the purveyors exploiting black women. We didn't have that level of degeneracy. And see, this is the thing, real quick. In New York, we didn't make that music. We didn't do the LA or B is a B. We didn't, you know, call them H's back then, you know, until Luke came and NWA came. We respected the women. We made songs that celebrated Black women. And if it was a personal story on how you got hurt. It wasn't all of these women. It was one specific woman, whether it was LL Cool J singing Dear Yvette, or EPMD singing about Jane, or Stetsasonic speaking about Sally. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's one particular person, not all of the women, because we also had Jungle Brothers sing the song Black Woman. We had so many songs. King Son with Hey Love. There's so many songs where brothers just celebrated Black womanhood. So for Luke to sit here and cape for a cosplaying Black woman, knowing she's Indian with that big ass dot on her head, and you wanna, why you ain't got no Indian chicks in your video, telling them face down, curry up, and all this foolishness that I just want to punch him in his face. That's all I really want to do. Truth be told, long story short.
So
what I
think what I feel, as you know, as a first generation as he may be, is that he is disgraceful, right? Because you can't tell me in your home country those same things weren't happening, and that's not why you're here right now. You fled. Your parents fled their home country to raise you here because they couldn't face oppression. And now you're laughing at Black folks' oppression when you don't understand oppression here, oppression there, oppression everywhere. You're a disgrace. But yet all you want to tell everybody is do the brown and all of those type of things. And I ain't gonna lie, I did the brown when I had to do the brown, but now it's not time to do the brown. Now it's time to do the work.
Yeah.
And
you know what?
You are preventing the work to be done when you call for the demise of your children.
And
I would pray, hold on, Brother Tad. I would pray that it's not your child that is a target. Because when it's your child, you're going to beg everybody to come out for me and my family. And they're all going to look at you like, why we got to come out for you? You begged upon 12% of us to be attacked. Now what?
We're oversimplifying this. This could be as simple as they got a check. That's all this is. Let's not intellectualize this nonsense. Because it don't need
to got a check.
They got a check. They did it for a check.
But the effect of the check, the same way that what's her name? Megan Thee Stallion twerking, Cardi B, all those people that received the check is a reflection of the 92%, of the 80%. Of those people that follow that. So we have to exploit we have to expose what the check means. And if we're not doing that, we're a disgrace as well. Just, they got a check.
Hold on, Sister Marcia. No, because I agree with Brother Black, because they did get a check, and you're 100% right, Sister Marcia. We do have to call it out, because I think a part we may have missed is that now that they've lost, Luke is denouncing the Democratic Party, talking about he not rocking with them no more, because everybody got their money and now they out. White women are blaming white women, the Democrats are blaming Democrats, Black women are blaming Black men, and then they're blaming other Black women who did not support this foolishness. And Brother Black, I think you can agree with this. We're in a time right now where we see Karma is just swinging her beautiful face around. All the energy that you put out negative for something to happen to someone is coming to you. So I suggest Luke be very, very careful of the energy he puts out there. I don't think people realize what we are watching. Puffy thought he was untouchable. Suge thought he was untouchable. All of these people who thought they were above the law are now going down. There's talks of Kamala now retiring, because these liars and frauds are being beat back with the truth. And when you put stuff out there, Luke, you have to be very careful, because I'm over 50 years old. So I think I lived a little long enough to watch how energy works. What you send out there, because the earth ain't flat. Not in my summation, it's round. So you put it out there, that shit coming back like a boomerang. Suge thought Harry O was gone forever. Harry O is home. Sugar's gone forever. Puff thought Sean and G Dep and them was out of the game. Puff is temporarily out the game. He's not convicted, but I'm quite sure we in a better situation, because none of us woke up in jail with all that money. he's in a bad situation, and some people that work with him said he thought he was God. All right, God, snap your fingers and click your heels 3 times to get out your situation. No, be humble, move smooth. And that's all I'm saying. All of these people with this foolishness, that's why it's hard for me to come back at them, because I'm more physical. You know, I'm a tactile learner. I'm hands-on. That's how I learn. You know what I'm saying? But the reality, so I agree with you, Sister Marcia, because though Black, you made a point, it is simple. They got to check. But what does it come with? All of these people were bought and sold, and this is what the majority have to see. These people don't have your best interest. They just line in their pockets to give you a script that's already pre-written for them. We see Cardi B couldn't say nothing without her phone or the teleprompter because she's not feeling whatever she's saying out there. She just wanted the money, you know. And I just want folks to really understand, those of us who are moving in the 5th dimension with Brother Anunnaki, let's move smooth in this new dimension, because we seeing the paradigm shift. The new world order is on tilt. It just got punched in the face. Everybody see that damn near the whole country is conservative. I kept telling people, Black people, we conservative by nature. That's just who we are. We believe in men, women, and children. That's us. Decency does not belong to white people. And I wish our people would stop saying that. Oh, you a conservative? Oh, you with the white man? No. I'm with decency. I'm not with this liberalism. Malcolm told us, watch out for these foxy liberals. They'll have you bugging out, and people are bugged out. Everybody voted for what I said, Sister Keisha. These folks voted against trans women's rights to abortion. If you voted for Trump, you voted against trans women's rights to abortion. Don't that sound crazy? But that's the paradigm they living in over there. They bugged all the way out, and they don't even see it. So those of us who are sane, in our right mind, who are working on ourselves, elevating ourselves, so we could get into the 5th dimension, because I don't want to get locked out, Brother Black. So I need you to put a good word in.
Okay,
let me
relate.
These trash people crash. Go ahead, Brother Black.
Let me relate this on an opposite term. Back in the days, right when Trump became the president, which would have been 8 years ago, was 2016. He had a victory party, and I forget her name. Chrisette Michelle was supposed to sing there.
No, she sang. She sang.
Oh, she did. Okay, I don't remember, because at that time I was still merchant seaman doing my thing. No,
you was in the 2nd dimension.
Yeah, I wasn't around for that. But anyway, the point I'm making is, during that whole situation, we should be canceling people like Luke, like how the community did to her for just singing at the thing. She just sung there. She wasn't. He already won, and she was hired. She was like, going through a divorce and just having a child and all that. Yeah. Oh man, the way
she just got the check. She just got the check, and they canceled her. So they canceled her hard.
We need to cancel people like Luke and all of them by denouncing them the way we are right now in retribution for that sister, because she went through hell, had a nervous breakdown in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Again, we have to understand history. We are the first conservatives, not them.
Nope.
Not them. We have flipped ourselves on an axle. We have identified their behaviors, and they're trying to identify ours. And we are letting it happen. One thing I like what Brother Black said, these folks got to be canceled. Luke is canceled.
He been canceled to me. I never bought a Luke album
in my life. And you listen.
Not even a single.
I find it. Who was he to talk about Kamala Harris when his own daughters can't stand him?
I love my daughters love me. Shout out to
you.
My
See what I'm saying? You can't even show no love to your own daughter. Now she was the one on Love and Hip Hop, not me. So clearly displayed your disdain for her. So again, you can't tell nobody nothing. But I want to go back before we close out, some information about Frederick Douglass that I wanted to mention. Because I want us to understand, even when you ask people, what do you really know about Frederick Douglass? They can't freaking tell you, other than a couple of speeches or a couple of words. All right. So he was the president of the Freedmen's Savings Bank and Trust. Okay. He was a prominent black man during the Civil War and a leader for the abolitionist movement. He was the U.S. Marshal for the District of Columbia. Douglas was appointed to this position by President Hayes in 1877. He was the recorder of deeds. Now, that's your homework assignment. What is the recorder of deeds? Okay? I'm coming back and I want some answers next week. Recorder of deeds for the District of Columbia. He was appointed by President Garfield in 1881. He was the minister resident and consul general to the Republic of Haiti. Now, remember, I told y'all, see how it was reciprocal? He working for Haiti here. When they had the World's Fair in Chicago, the U.S. wouldn't host him with a pavilion. You know who came up with a pavilion for Frederick Douglass? Haiti. That's what you call an ally relationship. We've always had an ally relationship with Haiti. It's the rest of you MFers that's off code. Off code. Even Kwame Ture tried to get our Trinidadian brothers and sisters on code. Either you're an ally or you're an adversary. And that's the way I'm looking at it. So he is canceled. All that money you made, you couldn't get that gap fixed. You're a problem, son. You're a problem. I don't care what Fat Joe and Busta Rhymes and the rest of these cats is talking about. You can't steal our culture. We created it. We don't come to go to your homeland and try to steal nothing. Nothing. I have yet to see, and let me tell you something. There are a lot of Black American expats, especially in Mexico City, Mexico. Go down there and see if you don't believe me. How many Black Americans done set up shop down there? Don't believe me? Go take a trip. Sure. I have yet to see them try to insert themselves in the government, insert themselves in the culture of Mexico and take it over. We just don't do that. So y'all can't do that on our watch because it's about survival for us here. Just like it was for you. That's why you left the homeland. For survival purposes. For yourselves, for your family. Don't usurp what we're doing here. Stand down. This is a military operation. You're not a general. Stand down. I'm a part of the Free Haiti movement. Shout out to Mama Bello, my big sister, Izzy Danto. They'll tell you I'm in the group. I learn, I listen. I don't insert. Ever. Nobody in that group, that WhatsApp group, could tell you that I insert myself nowhere. I listen and I learn. They're the leaders, not me. Learn that behavior and discipline when it comes to us. Stand down and mind your goddamn business if you're not going to be on our side. So, I want to play this clip and we're going to get ready to close it out. Shout out to Urbanex Podcast, our brother Black Dot.
Yeah.
And Malcolm.
Yeah.
Something very profound he said, but it rings true. Here we go, family. Let's listen to it and we'll close out our show.
Ended a political era that really longer than the 35 years I'm speaking about, but I'm only using the 35 for reference of young people in here, right? The music era ended or is ending. The movie industry is ending. He just ended the political, the fashion industry. And right after that, the church and religion as you know it, all of this is ending. He is just a vessel that is in place to break the monotony of the bullshit and spell that you have been under. Your spell was just broken. Even if it puts you in fear for a moment, you have just been either triggered, awakened, or you have been moved into a state of fear. The resonance, the Schumann resonance, you know about he just ended a political era that really longer than the 30.
Do I sound like him or he sound like me?
I don't know. It's a whole Bronx thing. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah, right.
We not messing with y'all.
I knew Sister Keisha was gonna go there. I knew it. That's why I said it that way.
It's just the truth. I mean, there's a reason why Staten Island is called Staten Island, Brooklyn is called Brooklyn, Queens is called Queens, Manhattan is called, but they put the in front of the Bronx. You know why? Because those people are crazy.
Now,
Look, no, I'm serious. I want y'all to research the history of Mr. Bronx that it was named after. Then you come back and you tell me. Go ahead.
I thought you was going to say because of duh.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Again, shout out to Urban X Podcast and the Black Dot. Again, family. We getting ready to close out our show. You know, Sister Marie, I know, your family live in the Bronx. You know, they ain't know no better. So, you know, I'm just saying, we keep them over there. It's always extra. I'm like, never. It's on 10 over there. And listen, I've been on this earth, me and Brother Tad, half a century. The Bronx ain't never been right, ever. So, you know, again, I'm glad that my parents, my grandparents had the fortitude and the understanding of, don't you ever take your ass to the Bronx, goddamn it. Ever. But let's get off and get ready to close up out of here, family. We got to leave. Brother Black, your final thoughts and comments, please.
Thank you for that great introduction to my home city. Just real talk. Hey, it's been a great show, y'all. Real talk. It's been great. Thank y'all. Oh, man. I learned a lot tonight, Sister Keisha. Thank you for the education on Sister Surgeon of Truth. And some other people. I know we didn't get into everything we wanted to, but we in a good space. Like brother, I'm gonna have to quote him, Brother Black Dot said, hey, we in a whole nother frequency. If you want to crystallize everything he said, in my way of looking at it, at least, we in another frequency. And if you feeling it, you feeling optimistic, or you feeling, like he said, fearful. Yeah, there's no two ways about this. I mean, so if you scared, say you scared, and then learn how not to be so scared. So that way you can be with us, like we talking over here. Whether you want to or not right now, you are forced to wake up, because so much will, if you even have such a curious mind, you would be almost forced with something in your hand that can, something in your pocket that can access almost anything, whether it be truth or not. And this is where the discernment comes in. You have to make your mind up, because you didn't make it, you didn't create it, you didn't see it being made or created. So that's the lesson that I'm trying to go with. I'm going to advertise my book again, because we're in this time. This book exposed the entertainment industry as a whole. Sister Keisha has it, so she already knows what's in it, and she's given my endorsement plenty of time. So with that said, much love to the panel, much love to those watching and most out there, and much love to those who will see the recording at a later date. We love y'all. One love. Peace. Stay up. MelaninInstitute.blogspot.com is the blog name. Come check me there. I put out something usually every other day, and I put it out on the Thorough Black Talk page. Peace, y'all. One love. Out.
Peace.
Sister Marcia, your final thoughts and comments.
Well, I will echo. Today I'm just echoing my brothers and my sister. But Brother Black, yes. Thank you, Sister Keisha, for the wealth and breadth of information. Your curiosity rabbit helps us understand this world that we're living in. We must learn how to cultivate this same curiosity in our children. Without that, we're not going to win this war. And we are winners. So I don't know what we're waiting for, but sometimes they say patience is a virtue and we're just out here sitting on the sidelines. But I'm really tired of sitting on the sidelines. I really want to at least see something happen, as I continue on my journey on this earth. I want to see it happening in the flesh, not in no ancestral realm looking down like, oh yeah, they finally did it. I don't want to do that. So I want us all to actually tap into curious wizards like Sister Keisha, or become as curious as Sister Keisha. It is our duty because, like Brother Anunaku tells us, we are running into another dimension and we must be prepared mentally, physically, and spiritually. So let's get it. So may time flourish, and if it may not, make it. We out here battling, make it happen, Brother Tad.
Well, family, I just want to thank everybody for rocking out with us like y'all always do. Brother Cass, Sister Vanessa, Sister Aruba, Sister Vera, everybody, all our usual suspects, Brother Ray, who was in the chat also. Sister Keisha, thank you for all the information you laid out, reinvigorating some things in me, gonna have me go to the bookshelf, look up our Sister Sojourner Truth. And I want people, the audience, you watching this live or watching the playback, please investigate the vestiges of slavery. Please buy books that talks about our story from firsthand accounts. You could get books like The Bullwhip Days, Narratives of the Life of Frederick Douglass, the autobiography of Harriet Tubman, autobiography of Sojourner Truth. A lot of these people have their own stories, so we don't have to listen to it secondhand. Also, when we talk about images, as we opened up the show, I encourage everybody to get Tom Burrell's book, Brainwash. Please, please, please. It is an easy read that put a lot of context to what we're seeing today. So hopefully you're inspired by something you heard here tonight. It's your turn to go ahead and inspire others. You can also catch me every Sunday with my partner C Gutter at 2 p.m. on the OG Wisdom Podcast. That's every Sunday at 2 p.m. on YouTube. Shout out to Doggy Diamonds, always holding us down, giving us dope information. We always have a back and forth behind the scenes to exchange this information. So hopefully you inspired. Your turn to go out and inspire others. Y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay true. Sister Keisha, take us home.
Unmute, sis. Unmute,
sis.
As my brother said, thank you guys. Thank you so much for sharpening my steel over here. Again, I try to give you great information, give you a clear understanding of some of the things that you're seeing and some things that you aren't seeing, right? So may my ancestors continue to allow me to be super nosy on your behalf and theirs. I am planning, I hope, soon another trip to the Historical Society and another museum, the Museum of the City of New York. I think the film presentation is mind-blowing, and it tells you a lot on how films are made, because now they're going to be a relic, because AI is going to take over that industry as well. So, tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody that it goes down here each and every Thursday. You can catch Sister Marcia on Instagram, Africans on the Rise. As Brother Tad said, don't forget the OG Wisdom Podcast. Shout out to C Gutter and our brother Ashe SJ.
Yeah.
Gotta show the brother some love. And again, Melanin Institute Blogspot with our brother Blacksmith. And you can reach out to him and find out how you can get access to his book. If you've read any of Professor Griff's books or the Black Doc's books, his writing is along that line as well. So you can get a lot of information out of that. Again, we appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm glad you learned some tonight. I learned from you guys too. Believe it or not, I pay attention. And that's what caused my investigative fingers to go. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to dissect articles that you're reading. I can't stress that enough. You know, it might be a 3-minute read, but for me, an article can go as far as 3 hours because I'm dissecting every goddamn thing, including the publishing house it came from. I'm dissecting everything because everybody has an agenda. And if we are truly at war, as my brother Tad mentioned earlier, we better know the power of intelligence. You may think that presidents run this country, but the CIA runs this nation. And if you doubt otherwise, you're an idiot. And I'm telling you that. You're an idiot. That's just the way it is. But we out of here, family. Good night, y'all. See you next week.
On the Brooklyn Bridge tonight, voices strong, knowledge tight. Thorough black talk in the air, changing minds, changing flair. From brother Tad to sister K, warriors got things to say. Sister Marcy brings the heat, brother Blacksmith keeps the beat. Revolutionary waves, they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral light. Thursday nights the world will see Black Power media on a spree. Facebook, YouTube all aligned, from every bind. Social talk and politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves, they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral light. Social talk and politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves, they fly